This video clips will discuss about the strips bond, the valuation. The strips bond. What is the strips bond? You need to revisit the class notes which we discussed during the class. The strips bond is the separate trading of registered interest and the principal of securities. In other words, we can sell this bond coupon and the principal separately, right? So for example, this case $100 and the $100 and the principal $1,000. Every year, this coupon can be separately sold, right? But that produces some issue because every year we have a different spot rate. When you price a bond, we use the same yield to maturity if we assume we hold onto the maturity. But in this case, we cannot use the same the yield to maturity as a discount rate, right? So I want you to revisit this slide and read the textbook, and then you will clearly understand. Also, I want you to explore other term structure and the interest rate, like short rate or the full rate. So let's get started. In order to understand this, the cash flows based on the spot rate of each year's spot rate of the strips bond, we need to use this term structure. Term structure means the combination of the yield to maturity and the period, right? For example, if the coupon rate here, and then what is the value, how to calculate based on this cash flows, right? Each cash flows with this coupon rate, right? This case, we assume the yield to maturity is equal to the coupon rate to make it simple. We are going to use this term structure to value the strips bond. And then we'll compare the regular bond present value and strips bond present value here. So first, here, now we have the example. The coupon rate is 7% and maturity 20 years. So we have a term structure 20 years and the par value 1,000. And the yield to maturity when we issue this bond or purchase bond is 6.18% here. This case is the decreasing the interest rate cases, right? So the coupon rate is greater than the yield to maturity, which is the premium. You will see the premium bond value here, right? Which is greater than the par value, $1,000. So the point is, what is the spot rate to apply all the cash flows of the strips bond to discount these cash flows, and the sum of this, the present value of a discounted cash flow is the strips bond. We need to understand this formula, right? 79.9 if the coupon is 79, for this case, coupon rate, year 1, year 2, if the bond is different, right? Coupon rate is 7.99 for the bond that has 2 years maturity. The bond coupon 8%, right? How we calculate the bond in the term structure. Here, year 2, 2-year bond cases, 79.9 divided by 1 plus 7.99, 1,000 plus 79.9 divided by 1 plus 7.99%, which is the same yield to maturity, which is par value cases, which means these cases, right? That has $1,000. This $1,000, which is the same as the par value of this bond, right? But if we can sell this bond coupon separate from the principal, then this $79.9 of a coupon divided by 1 plus 8% for the first year spot rate. First year doesn't any difference, just 1 year, right? So we can use this 8%, right? But here, the second year spot rate to discount this 1,079.9, the last year, the cash flow, we need to find this based on this equation, right? To the power of 2. So that must be equal to $1,000, right? So how to calculate this R? We have all the inputs, right? All the inputs. So here we need to rearrange this formula. That's 1,000, take this here, and then we just leave this 1,079 last year cash flow divided by 1 plus R to the power of 2. And next, let's take this denominator with this numerator, exchange, right? And then we can leave this 1 plus R to the power of 2 alone, and then square root. We can just square root this part, and then minus 1, so we can calculate this R. So let's calculate this. Copy. I just want to copy and paste. Equal. Let's make this formula or variable. Okay, now it's working. So we found this second year, the spot rate. Third year spot rate can be calculated from this equation, right? So we need to develop this. It's huge amount of work, right? We can find a third year spot rate to discount here if the coupon rate, if the coupon rate is here, right? That's 7.8%. Likewise, we calculate 3-year, 4th year, all this spot rate using this term structure, right? Now, once you complete, first let's calculate, just leave it just for a while, leave this spot rate for a while. We are not going to use to calculate the bond, regular bond. So the cash flows, how to get it, right? The 7% times 1,000, right? I want to fix this 2. Oops. Then let's drag it down, right? Drag all the way down, every year coupon. But the last year, we must include, right, $1,000 par value again, right? Then we want to discount. This is 70 divided by, what is the yield maturity? Right, we are using this identical, the discount rate, and okay, to the power of year 1. So we got this present value of each year cash flows. Oops. So what is the value? Right, the sum of all these cash flows. So we got this 1,092.69. This is the value, right? Bond valuation, bond pricing is really important. Why? Because we have all the variables. We have the par value as well, right? Unlike the stock valuation, we don't have any gross. We don't have any other estimates except for the interest rate, right? Once we found a very reasonable interest rate with this kind of spot rates, then we can get this bond value very precisely. If the bond price in the market is deviated from this bond value, then we can get the arbitrage gain, right? So that's why the bond investment, once we find some arbitrage gain opportunity, we can invest millions of dollars, billions of dollars at one time. That's why the bond valuation calculation is very important, right? If it's strips bond, now, if strips bond, the present value, we need to calculate. Here, the spot rate, how to get it? Right, spot rate 8%, and spot rate all the years we need to discount, right? This 70 divided by 1 plus spot rate. We are going to use this spot rate. Now to the power of 1. So let's drag it to the bottom, and then let's sum. I can just copy and paste. So the sum of all these cash flows is now we have different the bond price, right? So these changes, these differences can give you the investment opportunity once you are able to calculate the bond valuation. Okay, see you in the next video clips, you guys. Bye bye.